Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, last time we got together, we talked about the creation of our ego. And what we come to the conclusion is that the ego is our identity, how we define ourselves. And when we accept that identity of our ego, then it defines us. It determines how we are going to respond to our world. Now, I originally wanted to talk about the ego because I really wanted to talk about the ego defense system called projection. So I thought we had to have some idea of what the ego was. And it's a creation. It's something that we create, bring into the world, and then accept as our identity. And then we define our world, our life, through our ego identity. And during that process, when the ego gets bruised, we use the defense of projection. And we're going to talk about that. And also its counterpart, which usually isn't talked about, called extension. Extension. And these are in two different directions. So, as best we can, we're going to look at both of these, and then I'm going to do some drawing on my whiteboard to see if we can make sense out of it. So first of all, I want to kind of define the two terms. Projection, which I call as negative, and extension, which is its positive counterpart. So, and projection, we're not aware of when we use it. It is unconscious to us. And extension, which we are aware of, and therefore move to make it more available in our life and to those around us. So now, projection is kind of a cold and prickly way of dealing with the world. And extension is more of a warm and fuzzy. And like I said, one of them we're aware of when we use it, and the other one we're not aware of. And that's what makes it such a great defense system. So, projection we use to get rid of something that we have that we don't want. We don't want to accept. Extension is sharing something that we want to get more of or would like to see more of in our life. Projection is a defense for the ego so that it doesn't feel so bad. And extension is given in order that we will experience more of it. Projection, we're projecting our negative beliefs onto the environment around us, and we will see those reflected back from other people of which we blame. And extension, again, we extend it out into our environment and we will see it reflected back to us and enjoy it. One, projection fosters separation. Extension fosters togetherness or oneness. They are based upon belief systems. So if we had a belief, a negative belief, like you can't trust people, they'll screw you every time, well, that would be a negative belief. And a positive one, or an extension, would be you can trust people. For the most part, they're pretty good. And that'd be kind of a positive belief. So there you have the two beliefs. And now we're going to begin to talk about how we project them and what we get back. So that's going to be an interesting kind of a conversation. So I did this before, but we're going to talk about projection. Now, projection, you think about projection, and to me, and the way I've explained it before in other areas, is that it's like a motion picture. So almost all of us have gone to the movies one time or another. I started a long time ago. So when I went, the cameras weren't all that good. But I'm going to draw a scene so that we get some idea of what projection is. So you start off with projection, you start off with a projector. So we're going to draw a projector. Okay. Projector has a lens in front of it. And when I was going, here's an old-fashioned one. Has a take-up reel and it has a feed reel. And the film, that's when they had film. I don't know if they have film anymore. So anyway, it comes down and then there's I have to draw it another way. There's a loop in the front of this. The film goes in front of the lens. And then there's a loop. And there's a little wheel here. And then this comes over the little wheel down there. And then this comes over here. And then there's a take-up. So there's a light in here. Sometimes they used carbon, 2 pieces of carbon. They bring them together, makes a spark, brilliant light, a lot of heat. That's why this film has to keep going. If the film stops, burns up like that, splits it. So, parabolic mirror in back so that all the light goes out the front. All the light shines out here through the lens, here, and onto a screen. So there's a screen out here. You know what they called the screen? The silver screen. You know why? It was white. Now, another thing about the screen you may not know, at least the old ones, they're rough. They're not smooth. They're rough because they have little beads, crystal beads on them. And then you get the projection. Here's you get The projection comes from the camera. Projection comes from the camera in here, and you get the information out here, and then, now I got to put you in the scene. I'll get you, okay? But I got to get you sitting. There you are. There you are watching a movie. You see? Right there. And then it hits the screen and reflects back to you. So you got a reflection. Comes back. And this, the reflection, is what is the important part. Back here, this is just light shining. But when it hits here and reflects back, then you think it's moving. That's why it's called a motion picture. And this thing here, this little shuttle in here that goes back and forth, it goes just like that, but real fast. 30 frames a second, 32 I think, 32 frames per second. So that it looks like, fools the eye into thinking. This fools the eye into thinking that those flashing lights are moving around. You add sound to it, and you see a lot of stuff. You think it's real. You think things are moving out there. It'll cause you to cry, to laugh, to be sad, to be happy. All because of these little flashing lights and the reflection. I want to stress the reflection, because that's an important thing. So, that's how a motion picture has it. Oh, the little beads, that's so that when you're set off center, there'll be less distortion. So you can put more people in the theater on the wings way out. So, and they'd still see a pretty good picture. So that's kind of what a motion picture's like. So you got the projector, you got the projector, and the projection, and then you have the screen out here, the silver screen, and the reflection. That's basically it. And it fools you. It absolutely fools you into thinking that people are moving. Now, you really know, because of this shuttle system, it's all single pictures. There's no motion pictures in here. There's no people moving. It's a picture, and then it's another picture, and then it's another picture, but it goes really fast. So you think, fools the eye into thinking it's moving. I think most of you knew that. And now we're going to talk about another kind of projection. So I have to move my screen here. I have to move this a little bit. Because what I said before, if you remember, projection is based upon your belief system. So, we're going to move this. Take this off of here. Take you off of here, because we're going to change the position of you. Okay? We're going to put you right here. This is your head now. Maybe I drew it too big. No, we'll leave it that way. And you're sitting down. And you're projecting. What are you projecting? Because you're the projector. You're projecting what you believe, your beliefs. That's what the projection is. Now, do you know what all your beliefs are? You know what some of them are, but you don't know what they all are. They're all beliefs. Now you have positive ones, you have negative ones. When you have negative ones, you're projecting them out here into, now this becomes the environment. Environment. It's no longer the silver screen, it's your outside environment. There's people, there's friends, there's relatives, there's enemies, there's people that you wish you didn't know, all kinds of people out here. And in here you have your beliefs. Now, if you have some negative beliefs about you, part of your identity, negative beliefs, and you project them out here, you are going to see coming back to you a reflection. Now here's where it fools the eyes. When I say eyes, I don't mean the eyes here. I mean it fools you inside of you to believe that you're different than you are. So if you have negative beliefs, you're going to project them out here, and they are going to bounce off of other people. Other people. And you're going to say, oh, those bad people, look at, they don't trust people. And you forget that that's your belief. And your belief is, that's the one I put on that on there before, that you saw that picture. Can't trust people. Can't trust people. Now, for you to have that belief, you have to have proof that for you, this is true. Where are you going to get that belief? Right out here. All these people around you. All these people around you. You will find evidence to match your beliefs, or you can't have this belief. And you will believe that it's just not you. You didn't make that up. Here, there's evidence out here, and I'll show it to you. And so you do. You always find what you're looking for. In this case here, inside of you, first of all, you have this belief, which you gained from watching other people, or maybe you recognized you're not too trustworthy. But that doesn't make you feel good, doesn't make your ego feel good. So what you do is, it's not you, okay? It's not you that doesn't trust people, it's just the evidence that you have. Where's your evidence? Out here. What are you looking for? I'm looking to match my belief. Are you going to find it out here? Absolutely. You're going to find everything out here. Everything. Remember, we talked about that before. Everything is outside of you. So it's easy for you to find it. Because you plan it there to begin with. You're looking for it, and you'll find it. And so, it's not you. You're not the bad person. Well, you're not too trustworthy, but you're not the bad one. These are the bad ones. Because let me tell you the evidence that I have seen. And you'll have strings of evidence of why you can't trust people. Now, that's projection. Now, if you have the belief, people are Freddie! Good. Overall, people are pretty good. You can trust them. There's always some apples in there that aren't quite ripe or overripe. But in the main, I don't have any problems. Well, now, you see, what are you projecting out? Now, that's a belief. What are you projecting out? People are pretty good. What are you going to find? Out here. What's going to be your reflection? People are pretty good. I'd like to know more people, because there's a lot of pretty good people. And so you have one kind of a world that you're living in. Projection has a different kind of a world. These two, they're opposite of each other. They're opposite of each other. And I hope I can get rid of that. There, okay. So, with projection, you don't know you're doing this. You absolutely believe that it's all these people out here that are reflecting back to you. Oh, them bad people. I have a few problems, but they're really bad. You made it all up to keep your ego from feeling bad. Because if your ego feels bad, then you'll have to do something else. Maybe you'll have to change. Nah, we don't want to change. It takes too much effort to change. So, you're the projector. You are projecting out here, and it's reflecting back, and inside of you, you're creating your world. You always create your world. That's an unusual thing to begin to think about. Now, we've had several discussions on the fact that you create your world. You say, no, the world is out there, and it's the way it is, and I can't change it. It's an illusion. There is no world outside of you except the one you create inside of you. You want a different world? Change your inside. Outside here is just an effect. This is an effect. This is the cause. If you have positive beliefs, you're going to have a positive world. You have negative beliefs, you're going to have a negative world. And it's not going to be what's outside, because everything is here, the good and the bad. You have decided, because of the way you're projecting, you have decided that you're going to pick out of this outside everything bits and pieces that match your belief system, whether it's negative or positive. You want a different world? You want a positive world? You got to change what's in here. You think you're going to change out here? Nah. You can't change what's out there. Everything is out there. All you have to do is you have to start looking for something different. You look for something different, you're going to find it. Now, I say that, you're going to find it. If you look for something worse so that you feel better, these people are all terrible out here, I'm better than they are, you're going to find that. And you're going to have a terrible world. But if you believe on a positive scale, there's a lot of good people in the world. You can You can manage that. You can live with them. You can get along in this world. You're going to have a different world. So you got to change the way you see yourself. You have to change the way you look at yourself. You have to change the way you project, which means you have to change your beliefs. So if you want a different world to live in right now, today, you got to change your negative beliefs. You have to forgive those things that others have done to you and that you have done to others. There's some rule like that. Do unto others as you would have, I don't know, it's something like that. You'll have to think about that. In the meantime, be good to yourself, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.